Jinmu, tough loss. Can you walk us a little bit through the match, how it played out in your mind, and what was the difference today?
第一张地图上来，其实我们打的还可以，然后赢下了第一张图。然后第二张图阿鲁比斯的时候，我们没有有效去针对对面 EMP，然后我们的站位也很集中，被黑的太多，所以导致我们那张图输了。然后后面可能就气势没有之前高昂了，然后就后面就打的比较没有前一把那么好了，所以我们可能就是因为这么输的。
So JinMu said, and oh, Luke, you can add on if I miss anything. So JinMu said they did really well in the first map. They were very prepared for the first map. On the second map, I think what I heard was that there were a lot of EMPs. Luke, JinMu 刚才是不是说有很多 EMP？当时我们没注意到。
He said we didn't do good like countering EMP.
We didn't do very well countering EMPs. And on the third map, which was Eichenwald, I believe, we 你说第三张地图当时是什么问题了？
就是后面几张地图都是气势上感觉被就是没有前面那么高昂了。
气势上哦
like passion or something.
Yeah, I felt like they kind of just like lost their fumes, towards I think after that second loss, like for the third and fourth map, they kind of just like blew a fuse, and they just weren't able to kind of like keep that energy up. And because of that, Shanghai kind of found that weakness, and they just started to do worse and worse.
Luke, was that why you guys kept switching in some players and like Nisha came in, Armin came in? Was this sort of like to ignite the spark again and get the guys going and back into the game?
I think first of all, like compared to the Dragons, I think Dragons is more, their whole team is like, they're a great opponent. I mean, like their whole team is kind of competitive compared to us. But we have different pieces, like different players, like Amo and Nisha. I think for the player Nisha, he has a better like logic in his mind. So sometimes he can like deliver like the coach's message to players, like better than Evoto. But for Amo, I think he brings a lot of confidence to other players. And also, like JinMu mentioned before, we might lose some passion after Anubis, Temple of Anubis. So I believe like, Amo is the old player, and also Amo is such a passionate and confident person. So we want him to bring the positive motivation
Energy.
energy and motivation to all the teammates.
Makes sense, yeah. Now, one thing that was apparent throughout, I would say, this entire tournament cycle was that you guys sort of found your consistency. Is this because you played into the meta, or have you realized something about how your team works that made it so that you guys could, consistently beat the Dallas Fuel, for instance?
I think it's just the consistency. It's not like about meta or something. We can play everything, but I believe I have to confirm, like we didn't do well like with any meta with Lucio. That's our weakness.
Now, for JinMu, of course, like usually you are known for your Pharah especially, but you played a bunch of Sombra this time around. It seemed like you pulled the Pharah out at times. Can you explain to us like how the decision is made, what you guys are running? Is this only about map architecture, or do other things come into practice here?
对，也看对面对方敌人拿什么阵容吧，然后还要看我们教练组的安排，然后还要看我这张图好不好用，然后结合这3点来决定要不要用。
So to answer your question, Yiska, usually it just starts with the coach's decision. So I think a lot of it comes from what Coach Ray decides is right for that map. And should something out out of the ordinary happens, then he will adjust accordingly depending on what the enemy plays.
Now, Luke, we have to talk a little bit about Ray because, I mean, to the West, it's like sort of like this enigmatic, like mysterious figure that we don't know much about. I mean, we've pretty much like known this guy since Miraculous Youngsters, and then going forward as this really creative tactical genius. What is it like working with him, and like does it often surprise you what he has players playing?
Actually not, because to be honest with you, like from last off season, me and Ray, we picked all the new players and choose to like trade them from other teams. I think Ray, first of all, like one thing maybe other people don't know is like he is the one who's willing to discover the new players, and he is willing to give new players chances. Not only for Chinese players, but however, we are a all Chinese roster, but yeah, but Ray knows like what's the best for the players.
Now, one such discovery is of course Monk, who I think has surprised many, especially like because the alternative in Farway seemed also very promising. Now Monk is playing pretty much as a starter and playing well. How did you guys find him, and like how satisfied are you guys with his performance this season?
Yeah, I'm very happy to see like Monk plays well, because from from yesterday's interview, I think you guys can see Monk is such a shy personality, like in daily, but we have been like encouraging him to show his skill and show his mechanic to the world, and we always like all time we are telling him he is one of the best Zenyatta in the world. And I believe we bought Monk from Team Flag from last year. They got the second season contenders championship in China region. Actually, Monk is not the only one like the target we are trying to trade last year. Like we bought Monk and our assistant coach Yao Xie and our contenders player Apreta together from Team Flag. And I believe they're great players with such a talent and patience.
As it goes in this season, not everything went completely according to plan. You guys had to replace a player with Elsa retiring. Late Young stepped in. I mean, Late Young has been with Ray for a long time. I think he's playing some of the best Overwatch of his career. Can you talk a little bit about Late Young?
Yeah, compared to his teammate, I think Late Young is more like a mature person. Like he's not that young, but he's not old. Like if you want me to use one figure to describe Late Young, I might want to say he was like Captain America in the movie. He's like Captain China. He's the captain of the team.
Right. Right. Now, one player on your team we have to talk about, and I'd love to have you both comment on this, is Leaf. I mean, Leaf, Avril, the caster for the Eastern region, has said, like, at this point, you have to consider him an MVP candidate. He does it on all kinds of champions, even on Tracer. He looks to be, like, if not he's on par with everyone else in APAC. Like, what is his process like? How does he keep such a high level on all those heroes? And what is it like playing with him?
I believe, Leaf is just, he's a talent. He is a genius. Like, I think Leaf is such a great player. Like, because from last season, we didn't do well, and people started doubting, like, is Leaf really good? Is Leaf really that good, or something like this? But I always believed in him. I think he is one of the best flex player in the world.
Flex God. 那JinMu呢 ？What does JinMu think? JinMu 有什么想法？对离开有什么反馈？跟我们讲一讲。
离开啊，应该是联赛最强自由人。
Yeah, he's the best flex player in the league.
Is he the best?
JinMu's a man of many words.
Is he the best Tracer in the league?
Yes.
Very good. One thing that interested us, we had a lot of talk about the issue of the travel for the NA region. Of course, like for Atlanta, it was really bad. But we also realized that the ping from your location to the Tokyo server probably isn't great either. So do you guys have any like disadvantages there? What kind of ping are you playing at? And what are the circumstances there?
I think, yeah, the ping is kind of it's, you know, when we play, when we are training, usually play in Asia server. It's like 70 ms, but the tournament it's above 80 ms. But I think our player got used to it.
Maybe also for JinMu, is it different to play against the teams when they are in Hawaii? And like, is it generally a disadvantage? Is it possibly the case that it's harder to play some characters?
不会，基本上没什么影响，习惯了就好了。
Luke 也说你们好像习惯了。Yeah, so I think the answer is the same as Luke's. They're kind of used to it now, and once you get used to it, it doesn't really feel all that different.
Right. Now, I mean, the season, 3/4 of the regular season are over. You guys made the tournament twice. Do you consider this to be a successful season? Do you think you punched above your weight? Do you think you landed where you wanted to be? What are your general thoughts there? And that's also for both.
I think not yet, because you know our target is still getting to the playoffs. So that means we have to like lock in like top 3 of the Asia region. But instead of fighting with other 2 teams, we prefer to get the 2nd place in Asia region. So we still need to keep practicing hard and try the best to get every win.
我觉得这阶段能有这个成绩已经很不错了，然后希望下阶段能拿到更好的成绩吧。
JinMu says that getting 2nd place is already really great for the Hunters, but he's still hoping that during the next stage they can get even better results.
Is Seoul your biggest competition for that 2nd position in the region?
我觉得都差不多吧，觉得每个队伍都挺厉害的，然后我们要去好好打每个队伍就行。
那 Luke 你也有这种想法吗？还是你们
I think-
觉得首尔没那么强？
I think both Hangzhou and Seoul, not only Seoul, because I think, you know, I think Hangzhou Spark is a pretty good team. Like they have a like awesome roster, and they might like going high like in the last stage.
Yeah.
Not scared of Philly at all?
Oh yeah, there's
Really?
Philly.
Oh, Philly.
融合队 We forgot about them.
Oh wow. All right. I guess. Oh, Philly. So I guess we have to go. We have to go practice from now on.
Right. What did JinMu say?
JinMu says that Seoul sounds about right. 对吧？JinMu 刚才说的就是你觉得首尔好像是
我觉得每个队伍都很强。
JinMu thinks that all the teams are equally strong, but I think he's being humble.
Right. So you guys have played with a large roster pretty much like for a long time, and you've also opted into, I mean, getting the academy team as well. Can you talk a little bit about that decision to go that route? And then for JinMu, maybe also how it is to play on these big rosters where you have to fight for your starting position?
I think for the large roster, now we have like 11. That's not large. Like sometimes, because due to like some of our players, they are good at like not everyone is sleep, right? So
Yeah.
some of them are good at like different side. Some people actually, your question is a very good question, because it brought me back to like a question before. People always ask, why are you guys keeping Nisha and Evoto like together? Because they have different advantage playing Brigitte and
Mercy?
yeah, and Mercy. So I don't think like players needs to get like fight for the starting roster. Like it's more like coach has different plans for different person for different metas, and we always practice for like 3 or 4 metas for one stage. So that's why you see the roster switch between players.
Right.
And for the contenders team, I think the contenders team is not only for like this. I mean, it's not only for this season. It's more like for like the future.
Can you ask JinMu again what it's like to play on a bigger roster and maybe being able to focus more on specific heroes?
对我没什么影响吧，然后应该是会更轻松一点，因为我不能打的英雄可以让其他人去打。
然后你个人就是不会感觉
对对，
对，就
我感觉挺
是
轻松的。
对，感觉很轻松，不会觉得很可惜我没上去哈。So JinMu was saying that because he plays on such a large roster, he actually feels more relaxed because if there's a certain hero that is required for the meta, but he can't play that hero as well, then somebody else can step in for him.
Was he then surprised that the coach asked him to play Sombra?
并没有。
No, not at all.
Right. Right now, of course, like the rest of the season, it seems like you're still fighting for the second spot. Do you guys think, depending on the hero pools, you will come back just as strong, or is hero pools a big switch in how strong teams generally are in the league?
Do we know what the hero pool is? What the hero ban is? Not yet, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it depends on the hero ban.
Yeah, that's an answer, right?
Does it matter a lot? Like, do hero pools matter so much that it can determine the winner or losers, or like even the teams that go to the tournaments, or should the best teams be able to adapt to every single hero pool?
I think it really depends on what the hero pro is, but you know, like if your team has a good good personal good personal skills and synergies, you can still play well. But I guess we need to improve in like the synergy side because after all, we are still a new team. Like we only practice together for, I believe it's like 8 months. Compared to like other teams like Dragons, they have a champion base roster already for more than 1 year.
Of course, there's always like this disconnect a little bit, especially due to the language barrier, but also because it's just like different scenes, different games, and different time zones, where the stories that we tell of Eastern teams in the West are very different. What do you think, like from your perception, what does the West get wrong about your team specifically?
I don't think they're wrong. Like just, you know, sometimes they might want to try some new stuff. Like, you know, I think you can see from a lot yesterday, like Dallas already put out some new weapons, right?
How do you guys think about these memes, like the Chengdu Zone, which is basically like a description, a meme description of you guys playing always these different strategies that play into your strength, while everyone else might be trying to play meta?
Compared to our first season, I don't think we are. The Chengdu Zone is more. Right now, it's like I feel like we're following the meta. We're not really playing like in a very different way compared to the first season.
All right, then we say thank you for the interview and good luck for the remaining season.
All right, thank you so much.